जय जय श्री राधे। सब वैष्णवों को सप्रेम जय श्री कृष्ण. Today is day 176 of the reading of the 252 Vaishnava disciples of Sri Gosaiji, beginning at part 1 of Varta 159. Part 1. The couple made their seva to Sri Thakurji very simply and very lovingly. The husband was blessed to experience the Lord's direct experience, to experience the Lord's direct presence. Many days passed in this way. One day the wife went to have Sri Thakurji's darshan at the home of a wealthy businessman, and she saw a lot of obvious wealth there. When she came home, she did not bathe, but rather went to bed. Her husband came home and asked his wife, "Why have you not bathed and started the seva?" She replied, "Today you please bathe and do the seva." He did so, and after completing all the seva, he came to his wife and asked, "What is the matter with you?" She said, "I will only make seva when I can do it using a lot of wealth." The husband said, "All right, then, as you wish." The next day the two of them got up early. The husband addressed the wife, "Do one thing. 2 miles from here there is a tree. Go there and dig by the roots. You will find money there. Fill a basket with it and bring it home. Then you can happily make your seva with lots of wealth." The wife went there and found the tree and started to dig. Lots of money appeared with which she filled a large basket. Then the tree spoke out, "You will have to give me something in return if you wish to take away this wealth." The wife asked the tree what it required. The tree replied, "Give me the spiritual reward of filling your Sri Thakurji's water pitcher just once. Then you may take the basket with you." The wife said, "I will not give you this." The tree said, "If you have enough, then keep most of it, but just give me a small portion. Now just think, how many times do you fill your Sri Thakurji's water in one day?" The wife returned home and told her husband everything. He said, "When you fill the Lord's water pitcher, or do any other seva modestly and with no desire for wealth, then the spiritual rewards are indescribable. The reward for one single footstep taken in such seva is more than that from 100 horse sacrifices. Please just think, what is it? What is that wealth compared to the reward received from filling the water pitcher?" The wife never again had any desire for wealth. She thought to herself, "Now my only desire is to continually fill the Lord's water pitcher." Jariji. Thereafter she performed all her seva modestly without a single thought of wealth. It was only after this change in attitude that Sri Thakurji began to grant her his direct experience. The couple continued to perform their seva contentedly and within their means. The moral of this story is that Sri Thakurji is easily pleased by seva rendered in a modest, humble and disinterested manner. It also teaches the glory of the act of filling the Lord's water pitcher, which grants an unmatchable reward. Thus concludes Varta 159, the story of the Brahmin couple from Gujarat. The wife looked for wealth underneath a tree. They were recipients of Sri Gosaiji's great grace and accomplished Vaishnavas. There is no end to their tale. Continuing today with Varta 160, the story of two devoted Vaishnavas, one accomplished in seva, the Bhagavadiya, and one with divine insight, Tadrishi, from Gujarat. Bhav Prakash. These two are devotees of Rajasi disposition in the eternal Leela. Their names are Kamalakshi, Bhagavadiya, and Hiranakshi, Tadrishi. They manifest from Madhura and are thus the personifications of her divine loving sentiments. Part 1. These two had become Sri Gosaiji's disciples when he had visited Gujarat. By the great grace of their Guru, devotion to the beloved Lord was firmly established in both their hearts. The Bhagavadiya lived in Rajnagar and the Tadrishi lived in Dhokla. They had never met each other. The Bhagavadiya, however, had a wish to meet the Tadrishi Vaishnava. When it was the occasion of the Bhagavadiya's daughter's wedding, then he sent out wedding invitations to Vaishnavas. He also sent such an invitation to the Tadrishi Vaishnava, asking him personally to attend. The Bhagavadiya and his wife would daily complete their seva up to the Rajbhog Arti and then serve Mahaprasad to a few Vaishnavas. Then only would they themselves have prasad. Then they completed their seva from Uttapan to Sen, when the Lord was settled down to take rest for the night. Then other Vaishnavas who lived in the same village would come there. The group of them would discuss the Lord's pastimes and sing his praises. The day of the wedding arrived. The Bhagavadiya Vaishnava got up early and completed the Lord's Seva up to the Rajbhog Arti. Thereafter he engaged himself in the worldly activities and arrangements. Then he called all the Vaishnavas over. The Tadrashi Vaishnava decided to test the Bhagavadiya. I shall enter the wedding hall at the exact time when he is giving his daughter away in marriage. Thinking thus, he left his village and arrived on the outskirts of the Bhagavadiya's village. 5 or 7 Vaishnavas were with him, and he sent one of them to let him know, and told him to let him know when the girl was to be given away. That Vaishnava went to sit in the hall. At the moment of giving away of the girl, he approached the Bhagavadiya and said, "The Tadrashi Vaishnava has arrived here." Hearing this, the Bhagavadiya stood up, took 5 or 7 Vaishnavas with him, and they all went to greet the Tadrashi Vaishnava with the Lord's name. They embraced him joyfully and brought him to the Bhagavadiya's home. He facilitated the Tadrashi Vaishnava's bath and then fed all present with Mahaprasad. He spread out some mattresses and let them take rest. Only then did he return to the wedding ceremony. The presiding priest said, "The auspicious hour for the marriage to be solemnized has passed." The Bhagavadiya said, "Find another suitable moment." The Brahmin priest found the next suitable moment a little less than an hour later. They waited for that auspicious moment and conducted the ceremony suitably. 2.5 hours before sunrise, the couple then bathed into Seva. The wife did the cooking and the Bhagavadiya Vaishnava dressed and adorned the Lord and then made the lunchtime offerings. After receiving the offerings back as Mahaprasad, the Bhagavadiya performed the Rajbhog Arti, to which he invited the Tadrashi Vaishnava for the holy sight of his Sri Thakurji. When the Lord had been settled down to his afternoon nap, the Bhagavadiya facilitated all the Vaishnavas bathing and then served them with Mahaprasad. Having done this, he returned to his worldly duties. The Tadrashi Vaishnava thought to himself, "I have tested this Bhagavadiya Vaishnava. He is skilled in adjusting his worldly life to his seva duties on a practical level. Now I will test his internal spiritual accomplishment." When it was time for the afternoon Uttapan Seva, the couple bathed and proceeded to complete the services up to the Lord's nighttime rest. Then they fed all the Vaishnavas supper and began to spread out beds for them to take rest. When they were doing so, the Tadrashi Vaishnava said, "I would like to sleep with my head on the doorsill of the entrance to your Sri Thakurji's temple." The Bhagavadiya spread his bedding out in that place. When the Vaishnavas had all been settled down for their sleep, the couple completed their worldly duties. They rose again early in the morning and bathed. The wife went and started the cooking. When the husband had bathed and was ready to start the seva, he saw that the Tadrashi Vaishnava was still asleep and he did not want to have to wake him up. He thought, "When he wakes up, I shall open the temple door. His head is on the steps, so I cannot enter the temple." He applied his sacred forehead mark, and sat to recite the Lord's names. The Tadrashi Vaishnava was intent on testing the Bhagavadiya, and so even when he woke up, he did not say anything and went on lying there. The cooking was completed and the Bhagavadiya had finished his rosary rounds of chanting. He stood up but did not wake up the Tadrashi, thinking that he must continue to let him sleep. He just remained standing there. He waited in this manner for 3 whole hours. The Tadrashi Vaishnava thought, "This Vaishnava is indeed an accomplished soul. It is now time for Sri Thakurji's Rajbhog offering, so I must get up now." He suddenly stood up and addressed the Bhagavadiya. "Have you been standing here for long?" He replied, "No, I only just now completed my bath and came here." He then put on his seva clothes, dhoti and uparana, and opened the door to the temple. He quickly offered the Lord his breakfast, dressed and adorned him, and then made the lunchtime offerings. After completing the Rajbhog Arti and settling Sri Thakurji down for his afternoon nap, he facilitated the Vaishnavas bathing and then served them all with Mahaprasad. The Tadrashi thought to himself, "Well, I have tested this Bhagavadiya and he is most certainly an accomplished Vaishnava. The wedding is over now and so I shall go home." He spoke to the Bhagavadiya, "I was testing you. There is no doubt that you are an accomplished Vaishnava. Please give me permission to go home." The Bhagavadiya requested him to stay a few more days, but he said he really had to go. The couple gave him a good send-off. They and some other Vaishnavas walked with him for a couple of miles or so, and then all returned to their respective homes. The Bhagavadiya thought to himself, "That Vaishnava has taken my test, now I will test him." Many days passed. The Tadrashi Vaishnava's wife passed away. The Tadrashi Vaishnava considered, "It is difficult for a single person to properly serve the Lord. Therefore I shall remarry in order to serve the Lord better." There was an unmarried girl in his village. The priest was called and a date was decided. The Tadrashi sent out invitations to all the Vaishnavas, and when the Bhagavadiya Vaishnava received his invitation, he thought to himself, "Now I shall get a chance to test him." We're pausing here for today and we'll continue tomorrow. So Aaj ke Anand ki jai ho, Shri Vallabhadish ki jai ho, Shri Gosai Ji ki jai ho, Sab Vaishnavan ko Sadar Saprem Sadenya. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.